Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Planning. As the Minister would know, there are many important buildings in inner Melbourne that deserve to be protected for their arts, heritage and cultural value.
Order!
One such building is the Palace Metro Theatre on Bourke Street. The theatre has been in operation since 1860 and for over 100 years it's been a Melbourne city staple, having been a theatre, a cinema and more recently a live performance venue which has filled a much needed mid-sized venue niche. At present there are plans in the works to demolish the well-known statement to make way for hotel suites. And there have been disturbing reports over the last week that Jinshan Investments has continued to strip out important heritage fabric of the palace. So does the Minister believe the Palace Theatre is a site of state or local heritage significance in Melbourne and should be protected?
No. The comment the Chair makes is not no. The Chair has registered the question as put by the member for Melbourne, and the Minister for Planning will respond. Order. The Minister will be heard in silence. Order.
Thank you very much, Speaker. And the Palace Theatre, of course, as we know, is a very important site in the city. It has hosted many events over the years. It has been, of course, a place of rich cultural heritage, particularly in the live music industry, as we know. And it has been subject to review, as the member would be aware, by the City of Melbourne. So the Palace Theatre is within a heritage overlay, which applies, as we know, to the Burke Hill precinct. And indeed it was the now Leader of the Opposition who did put in place height controls over a range of sites.
Order. The Minister will not engage with the Honourable Leader of the Opposition. The Minister to continue. Good interjection as that might have been. The Minister will continue.
I'm not sure where to go with that, Speaker. You can be 5'7" and I'm 6'4". but I stand.
Order.
But can I say, Speaker, I do stand on the shoulders of giants like Evan Walker and others, as a Minister for Planning. As the Minister for Planning, the City of Melbourne, as we know, Speaker, is currently progressing the Melbourne Planning Scheme Amendment C241, which seeks to apply permanent heritage controls for the Palace Theatre to recognise its individual significance. This amendment does not propose the application of internal controls because, as the member for Melbourne would be aware, significant works have gone on. There has been further consideration of the internal controls, but at this stage the City of Melbourne are dealing with the external fabric of the building within the broader height controls that the previous Minister for Planning did in fact put in place.
Order. The member for Melbourne on a supplementary question to the Minister for Planning.
I thank the Minister for Planning for his answer, but given that the City of Melbourne's actions have not prevented damage to the interior of the Palace Theatre, and given that the community's expectations for this site are wildly different from the current weak heritage controls that apply to the site, and given that this raises a major policy issue with the current VCAT proceedings, will the Minister use his powers under the VCAT Act to call in the demolition and redevelopment application and ensure that the Palace Theatre is protected to the standards that are expected by the Melbourne community?
The Minister for Planning to respond to the member for Melbourne.
I thank the member for her question. Clearly, Speaker, the external fabric of the building is what's important. There's been significant works that have been undertaken to the internal fabric of the building, which on the advice that I've received from my department is of a nature now that sadly I think it would be impossible to rectify what has gone on there. But if we can in fact ensure that the external heritage of the building is protected, and with the new controls that have been put in place, I think we are in a good position to ensure that this very important building within the Burke Hill precinct is in fact retained and redeveloped. The question of whether I will intervene using ministerial powers, the advice that I've been provided with is that it does not warrant that intervention.
Ora,